Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show. Today is Friday, February 15th, 2019. Welcome to another eBay video. As I promised you last week, I said, I guarantee you next week it will still be cloudy and nasty, and it certainly is. It rained or snowed every single day this week, bar none. No sunny days, no nice weather, and none in stock. Showers coming in later, showers tomorrow, possibly a little snow, snow Sunday into Monday morning, but not a lot. Everything but sun. That being said, let's talk about today's eBay topics. This week we have a lot to cover. Last week I let you guys off pretty easy with a 15-minute video. This one's going to be a real long one, folks, so be forewarned. We're going to talk about listing items on eBay in the parts / not working category and problems that can result there. I'm also going to tell you about more glitches that have cropped up this week. Surprise! We're going to talk about some layoffs at eBay. We're also going to talk a little bit about Amazon, which is not going to be locating here in New York City. We're also going to have an announcement at some point in the video. So that being said, let's get started with your questions, comments, and concerns from last week's video. On relisting dead items, Skinny Cow wrote in and said, with dog items that have been around for months or years, don't forget to check if you've offered free shipping, and if so, change that immediately also before relisting. Very good advice. And I've been implementing that advice this week myself, as I have retooled at least 75 items. I'm going through them all little by little, ending them. And somebody wrote in a comment, which I'm going to be reading shortly, about waiting 24 hours before relisting them, but we'll get to that in a second. Joseph George wrote, Joe, how do you handle someone purchasing an item and within hours wants to cancel the purchase? Very frustrating. I get that quite a bit, and I feel your pain. And I think eBay should institute a rule similar to Amazon, if they still have that rule, whereas once you buy something, you have a certain amount of time, like 45 minutes or an hour, with which to cancel. And after that, all bets are off, no more cancellations. Now, I really don't think eBay will implement such a policy, but I would really like to see them do it. I myself always wait at least an hour to ship any item, usually longer, just in case of that kind of thing. But if it's anything longer than, let's say, 3 or 4 hours, forget it. I'm not canceling anything. You may remember I told you about a guy who waited 2 days to try and cancel an item, then opened a return request, gave me all kinds of trouble, and to this day, I still do not have that item back. Charles M. Reinhardt wrote, Joe, have you ever done a video on how the ads from large online retailers are destroying our business? I only have one competitor for the Square Link security chains I sell, and my business has dropped over 95% since last August. The answer? It has to come from the ads on the bottom of every listing. People are contacting me saying that they can buy cheaper from company X or Y, advertising on the page instead of me. A drop in revenue has never happened before for almost 2 years now. I agree with you 100%, Charles, and I've talked about this many times over the past, and I think it's ridiculous and sinful and disgusting that eBay would allow ads that take our buyers off eBay. They're doing that to generate the income from the revenue, of course, the advertising revenue, but it's really like shooting themselves in the foot. I am totally against it. Later on, we're going to do some cutaways, and I'm going to actually show you some of that, but we'll get to that a little later. Silver Pools wrote, wait at least 24 hours after ending listings to relist or sell similar. Also change a couple of words in the title. This gives it time for the old listing to get out of eBay's databank. Now that is something I actually did not know, but I'm glad that Silver Pools wrote that comment, and I've been implementing that as well this last week. I'm waiting over 24 hours from when I cancel an old stale listing to relist it. I try and add fresh pictures as well, but if I can't for some reason, I move the current pictures around, because that, in my opinion, and from what I've heard on some of the Facebook groups, also helps. DQuirk42 wrote, "Thumbs up for the Fox News couple life. As far as free returns, I knew it was a misguided, ridiculous tactic on eBay's part when they began defending it before they even made it a requirement for Top Rated Plus, saying free return shipping is an industry standard. Not on my retail planet, baloney." I agree with him. I still do not offer free shipping. I have absolutely no intention of ever doing it. I've said this for months, if not years. And you know me, guys, I am a man of my word. I back up my convictions. Jared Daniel wrote, "I will never sell eBay Global Shipping again. I had a buyer contact me, since all my items are set for domestic shipping only, asking if I could make an exception and send a very rare video game to the UK. I settled with the buyer for $75 plus $3.68 shipping for a game I had listed at $85. After sending the game to the UK, he claims it didn't work. I knew the game worked and quickly realized that any international buyer could extort a US seller claiming the item didn't work. For gosh sakes, the item had a picture of the eBay item in use and fully operational. eBay did nothing, forced the return, and since the return shipping is paid by the seller, I had a decision to make to pay $60 for the return shipping or lose out on a $75 item I knew was fully operable. What would you have done in this scenario besides not shipping internationally?" Well, good sir, I gotta be honest with you. I've been shipping internationally for many years, at least 5 years, and I have never, ever had an international return. I have heard some horror stories, like you said, about that particular thing, and I do know that if a buyer institutes an international return, it's going to be quite costly for you, the seller. So I guess it has to do with the field that you sell in and the price of the item. This is very important. What would I have done in your case? Gosh, that's a close one because the price is so very near the other price. $75 versus $60. I don't know, man. That's a judgment call you would have to make, okay? I have always, for my domestic returns, insisted on getting the item back, even when the price was close, like in your case. But I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just giving you my opinion. Jason Bandy wrote, "I don't offer returns of any kind unless, of course, there's a problem with the part. This week I got a return request from a guy 28 days after the purchase asking for a refund. His reason was, and I quote, 'change my mind.' He messaged me a few times and I politely explained my return policy. He just didn't understand that not having one was even an option for eBay. He left neutral feedback that said, 'make sure it's definitely what you want since there's a no return policy.' Is that fair? Does neutral feedback count against me?" No, it does not count against you. Back in the Donahoe days, it did count against you, but you don't have to worry about that anymore. Since this was a case of obvious buyer remorse, if I were you, I would call eBay customer service and ask them if they would remove that negative for an obvious case of buyer remorse. I mean, it's like chicken soup. It can't hurt. Teresa Webster wrote, "Can someone explain the trending rate for promoted listings?" For promoted listings, the trending rate will vary depending on the category you sell in. For instance, I sell in eBay Motors, and the trending rate is rather high there, which is 7%, which means eBay is telling me that the average eBay seller in eBay Motors is bidding a 7% bid or commission on their items, meaning if their item sells, they're saying they will give eBay 7% of the final value fee. I myself think 7% is way too much, and as I said in last week's video and prior videos, I bid 1% and that's it across the board. 1% just so my item is shown twice. Once as my regular eBay listing and 2 is by promoted listing. I think that is enough, but that's my opinion. But I know a lot of you guys think that too. Deborah Kubler wrote, I also caught your video on promoted listings and took your advice on setting the promotion at 1%, as prior I was doing 2% and felt like I was paying too many fees. It in fact worked. I'm happy to find out that 1% doesn't hinder my sales whatsoever. Thank you. Synchron wrote, just started the 1% trick today. We'll let you know how it goes, and thanks for the idea. And he spelled it I-D-E-I-E-R. Idea. Interesting. Suni Raisin wrote, thank you very much for the info. It is really helping me to understand some things I did not understand. I have you on my watch list. Ciao. Dee wrote, good advice, crack me up. Love the Fox mug, and is it fitchy? LOL. The last comment is from BizHacks. You put Fitch on the Fox 2 News in Detroit, Michigan. That's what the couple life is from. Ha ha ha. It will never go away. Yeah. Okay, before we get into some new business for this week, let's stop and have a drink from that Fox News Cup O' Life. This is the Fox News Cup O' Life. Happens in drinks from it. Oh yeah. All right, guys, we have a lot to get through today, so let's get started right now. I want to talk about listing in the 4 parts not working category. Very rarely do I sell anything in the for parts not working category, but occasionally I do. For instance, I had something I listed a few weeks ago, which was a Cadillac Escalade chrome cap for a chrome wheel. The cap had some broken clips on the back, so it would not fit correctly on its own. It would have to be siliconed in place. Now you're probably thinking, well, Joe, why would you sell that broken cap if it's not going to fit correctly? The answer is very simple. They are in huge demand because they break so easily. And a lot of people use these vehicles as limousines, airport cars, and they need those caps on the wheel to pick up passengers, to make the car look good. And they're willing to silicone them on if they can get them for a really cheap price. This has worked for me with this particular item in the past many times. So I listed it cheaply, $20 plus the shipping. Okay? And not only did I take pictures of the broken clips, not only did I state in the listing that it had broken clips, but I put it in the title that it had broken clips. Do you know I got a guy that bought that from me and wants to return it because it has broken clips? Now, before we go any further, we're going to stop the video right here. We're going to do cutaway number 1. I want you to see the listing so you know I'm not exaggerating. Let's get to it right now. Okay, guys, I would like to share this experience with you because I think it's a good learning opportunity. Very rarely do I sell anything in the category called for parts or not working. As you can see right here in the item specifics condition, for parts and not working. The seller notes 4 broken clips. Cap will have to be siliconed in place. In addition to that, in the description itself, I specifically state the part number on the back is, and this cap has 4 broken clips. That means I'm selling it 4 parts, not working, and this cap must be silicone glued in place because it will not stay on unless you do. Now, if that is not enough, even in the title itself, it clearly says genuine 2000 to 2003 Cadillac Escalade chrome wheel center cap, hubcap, broken clips. Can anybody tell me, is there any way to mistake this for a perfectly new cap? I honestly don't get it. I had a customer buy this, and he claimed that he didn't see it had broken clips. When it says it in the title, It says it in the seller notes, in the condition for parts are not working, and in the description itself. In my 20 years on eBay, this is probably the most blatant case of a buyer not reading the description. And the funny part is, the thing that really irks me, had this cap been in perfect condition, I would not have accepted anything less than $50. That's how rare and in demand these are. I don't know how he thought he would be getting a perfect cap for $20 plus shipping. It really stymies me. And before we get back to the regular video, let me show you that sponsored links are still appearing on our ended listings, taking our customers off eBay. Right? See it? Okay, let's get back to the video now and discuss this some more. Alright guys, is there anybody watching this video that thinks I was not clear about that listing? Unbelievable. So the guy writes to me and says, I want to return this because I didn't realize it had broken clips. So I wrote back and I said, listen, no problem. I take returns for 30 days. But I have to ask you something. How could you not see it? Maybe you didn't look at the pictures, all right. Maybe you didn't read the description, but you didn't see it? It clearly says broken clips in the title. And the guy said, listen, I bought that when I was in a real rush. I had to buy a lot of things in a row and I wasn't paying attention. It's totally my fault. But the point I'm trying to make here, guys, and I want your opinion on this, I think eBay should institute a no returns policy in the category for parts not working. Because if the item is obviously defective, you know you're buying a defective item. I just don't get it. Do you guys support me on that? Do you think eBay should institute a no returns policy on items listed in for parts / not working? Comments on that below, please. All right, topic number 2, glitches of the week. 2 bad ones. First, we're going to do cutaway number 2, and then I'm going to come back and talk to you guys about it. So let's now do cutaway number 2. Guys, I have 2 glitches to report this week. Both of them are quite prevalent and both repetitive and both quite annoying, so let's get right to it. Here is the first of the 2 glitches. This is an item that I am trying to list on eBay, but I keep getting error messages. And the reason I'm getting error messages is it says you need to specify return options. But it's impossible for me to do so because the return option field is missing here, as you can see. There is no return option field. Sometimes if you refresh the screen it will work, but usually it will not. And all the work you've already done, meaning changing the title, changing description, putting in all fresh pictures, has been wasted. You have to start from scratch. This happened to me so many times this week, I had to go onto Facebook and make a post about it, and I was shocked at how many fellow sellers are also experiencing this one. One person told me he called into eBay customer service and that the customer service rep told him that they had had no reports of this glitch. But guys, this is a very widespread glitch. If you have noticed this, please let me know. The second glitch is this one. We are not able to promote your listings right now. I get this one quite a bit, but not as much as the previous one. I do not know what is causing these 2 glitches, but I would like your comments on these 2 glitches. Have you experienced them? Let me know in the comments section below. That first glitch is really pissing me off because what happens is I always click on sell similar when I'm listing a new item. Now as it happens, I buy in wholesale lots of 200 and 300 pieces at a time. That's how I get good deals. So last weekend I bought 300 pieces. So I'm in the process of trying to list them now. So what I'll do is I'll click on sell similar, change the title, start going through all the item specifics, changing them, adding new pictures, changing the wording. All right, I'm done. I go all the way down, I click on list, and I get an error message that says there is no return option stated. So I scroll back to change it, and there's no way to change it. And most of the time when this happens, all that work you've just done is lost and gone forever. Christ, you have to start all over again. Now occasionally, maybe 1 out of 5 times, or try and hit list again, it will go through, but usually not. So I'm telling you guys, be forewarned about that particular glitch. That one's nasty. The second glitch is the one about the promoted listings not showing up for some reason. When I'm listing something, I will place a bid of 1% and only 1% for my promoted listings, hit list. The listing itself will go through fine, but the promoted listings option will not work. It will say unable to list in promoted listings, and I have no idea why. Both these glitches are quite prevalent, and I've talked about them in the Facebook groups this week. Some of you guys probably saw my post. So if you guys have experienced either of those glitches or have discovered another glitch, please comment on that. One of the people in the Facebook groups actually called eBay customer service, and they denied knowing anything about the return field option not showing. But let me tell you something, this is an eBay fan speaking, the guy who loves eBay, but the guy who will always give you straight talk. That glitch is very prevalent. Next, last night, Thursday night, was our monthly meeting, our monthly eBay meeting in New York City. And Kathy Terrell is here to talk to you guys about storage units. Do you think a storage unit is right for you? Yes or no? Let's listen to what Kathy has to say right now. Okay guys, we just finished our Thursday, our second Thursday in the month eBay meetup with Kathy. Oh Christ.
That's okay, Joe. You want to start again?
I do editing it very well. Okay. Okay guys, we just finished our eBay meetup. It's the second Thursday of the month. Kathy Terrell's here, and she's going to talk to you guys about storage lockers and renting storage space. So Kathy, if you would.
Thanks, Joe. What we were talking about, we did a lot about organization. So we were doing time management, personal organization, and inventory organization came up because that's always a huge topic for sellers. And many sellers store in their homes. And then you're going to get to a point where you go, is it worth it for me to store somewhere else besides my home? Now, if you have a setup where you can take over your garage, or I know some people actually put a unit on their property, like a, you know what I mean, like a garden shed, but they put it on their property and they put inventory in there. So that's excellent because again, it's on your property, it's close by your garage. If you can spare the space, I know sometimes, you know, that's sort of a family situation, shall we say. That's all good. Now, I'm in New York City, Joe is in New Jersey, so being in New York City, space is a whole different game. Obviously, I don't have a yard where I can put a shed and put my inventory in. Everything is in my home. So when I was expanding my business, one of the things I did was I expanded to a storage unit. And if you're in any kind of city area, if you're in Chicago, Atlanta, New York, Boston, Los Angeles, you know, there's an abundance of storage units in the suburbs too. And oftentimes it's smart to rent a storage unit and to move the inventory there so that it's not taking over your home. Some people have inventory in storage units and in their home. So the stuff in the storage unit might be bigger stuff or it might be duplicates. Different situations work for different people. And what I was saying to Joe, and what you do need to take into consideration when you're renting a storage unit or storing any of your inventory away from your home, like at least 15 or 20 minutes away, is it adds in commuting time. And oftentimes sellers forget this. You know, if it's in your home, in your garage, on your property, it's maybe 10 or 15 minutes away. When you start to go into storage units and storage lockers, it could be 20 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes away. Now here in New York City, my unit was only 15 minutes away from my home, but I had to get to the storage place, then I had to get to my unit, and once I got into the storage unit place, it was still another 5 or 10 minutes to get to my storage unit, because you got to go up and down elevators, you got to walk down long halls, then you got to unlock your unit. This doesn't sound like a lot, but when you add it up, it is time. You got to go into your unit, you got to find what you went there for, so you better organize your unit so you can find stuff. Get the inventory out of there, then you got to lock the unit, get out of the unit, get out of the building, go back to your home or your home office, and then pack and ship from there. So storage units are great, but factor in the time to the unit, to get to the unit. So again, sometimes if the unit towards the entrance of the building is a little more expensive, it can be worth it to you, because that will save you 15-20 minutes of time every time you're going in and out of the building. Also, always factor in personal safety. What kind of security is in the building? What kind of cameras? What kind of guards? What are the hours? Look around and look at the other people that are renting units in that building, because just think about the fact that you may be there when there's not a lot of other people around. And do you feel personally safe? Because that's always really important. So, units can be a great way to go for storing inventory. Obviously, you've got to factor in the cost, but beyond the cost, always factor in time. Because Joe, you know this, time is our most precious resource as sellers. And something can look great, but if it takes me an hour, hour and a half out of my day, it may not be the wisest choice. Perhaps I can redo the shelving in that extra bedroom, or I can redo the shelving in the garage, or I can choose to sell different kinds of inventory, maybe smaller things that don't take up so much space, and keep the inventory in my home or closer to home without moving out. But if you're in a position where no, it's time to expand, I'm gonna go into a unit, this is the way to go, go for it. But be sure to factor in the time, and perhaps you can involve a family member. You might have a spouse or a child, and they can go to the unit and pull the inventory, or you have an assistant, or you have an intern. Always remember time, because like I was saying, time is our most precious resource. Right, Joe?
You got it. If I could put time in a bottle, the first thing that I'd like to do.
And what would that be, Joe?
It's from a song.
I know.
Okay. It's to save every day.
See, Joe's singing now. We got good. Anyway.
Okay.
Thanks so much, you guys.
Peace. Excellent.
Good.
Yeah.
We got you singing.
I didn't know if you knew the song. Okay. So guys, if a storage unit is right for you, only you can answer that. I myself don't need a storage unit. I have plenty of space at work, so that's not a problem for me, but I can understand if you live in an apartment where it might be necessary for you to rent a storage unit. In other news, eBay announced quite a few layoffs the other day. Yes, they did. Included in the layoffs was Scott Cutler. He was a top man, and he has since been laid off. eBay is trimming the budget, as they say, and I guess we'll just have to wait and see if this is good news or bad news. You may remember about 6 months ago, eBay did some major layoffs, and they did it again. What does this mean? I don't know. We'll find out. Amazon will not be relocating to Long Island City. They are not coming here. Reaction is mixed. Some people are glad they're not coming. Some people are sad they're not coming. Some are ambivalent that they're not coming. All I can tell you for sure, guys, is they are not coming. New York City bent way over to give them huge tax breaks, which I thought was stupid on New York City's part, and I condemn them for saying that and for doing that. However, I think, in my opinion, it was stupid for Amazon to back out of the deal, because I think it was a really good deal for them. But anyway, be it as it may, I'm just reporting the news. Next, I have an announcement to make. And I consider this very, very good news. The ChuckFitchScammer.com website has been totally redone by the team. This has been weeks in the making, but the team has finally finished the ChuckFitchScammer.com website. It's redone. The link will be in the first comment. I'm going to make the first comment and I'm going to pin it. I'm not going to put it in the description box because I have other information I have to put in there and I don't want it to get lost. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about it now. They insisted that I read this to you. All right, so I'm just going to read it verbatim as they told me to read it. All vids are via an HTML5 player. No need for a Flash plugin to be installed. Full HTTPS compliance. Just point out, not all content and vids are ported over yet. This is work in progress, and the Google crawling of the site is learning about the site, so it will take time for Google to pick up and remove the old pages from search. Okay, I'm not a webmaster, I'm not an SEO master, I'm not a code slinger, I'm just a regular normal guy. This is what the team has accomplished, and I would like to thank them all for what they've done. This is huge. Also, in comment number 1, under the link to chuckfitchscammer.com is going to be a link to a new channel called the Fitchy channel, updating you guys as to what's going on and how this one particular person is hating on not just me, but so many other people, including minorities, women in the workplace, other eBay sellers, people on YouTube. It's just absolutely disgusting what he's done. Absolutely disgusting, and I want to expose him, and I'm going to continue to do so until the authorities step in and arrest him for criminal stalking. I'm never going to stop. And there's nothing he can do about it. Guys, I thank you for watching this video once again. The video I made last week about the stale listings garnered close to 5,000 views in 1 week. There must be a lot of interest in stale listings. Hopefully this video will do as well. I'd like to thank you for watching. Remember, I'm Crazy New York Driver and you're not. I come out here each week to make these videos to help you be successful on eBay. If you think I did a good job this week, please leave me a thumbs up. It tells me that I'm appreciated and I'm on the right track. If you don't think I did, please, in the description box, tell me what you want me to hit up next week, and I'll be glad to do so. I am a seller friend, not a seller critic or skeptic of any kind. I'm still making money online, I've solved a lot of problems, and I have never, ever worn a mask, because that's something that a stalker does. Guys, go out there, make a lot of money on eBay now, rock on, and peace! Yeah! And a second drink from the Fox News Cup O Life is in order. Really good. Really, really good. I will leave you with the 3 most important words I want every one of you guys to remember. And those 3 words are, don't be fishy! Yeah!